All right, everyone, welcome back to another recap chat. It's 90 Day Fiancé Happily Ever After, a reality show based around couples, one from the US, one from another country, how they navigate love, the cultural differences, the language barriers, citizenship, the legalities of all of that, and being able to become each other's forever as husband and wife. It's 90 Day Fiancé. This particular installment is a spinoff called Happily Ever After. Now let's get into these couples here. Gino and Jasmine, for you guys to follow the show, you kind of know that they've had their ups and downs. There's an age difference, and Jasmine does have issues with her body and how she feels about her body, so she has had some work done. She's been going through a lot of family issues and just having low self-esteem at this time. And Gino is trying to be more supportive. He hasn't been so much in the past. And he's helping her to participate in this pageant to help lift her spirits, give her purpose. Of course, he's paying the fee, but he's also trying to help manage her as well because he all had a little bit run in pageants himself. Though it doesn't look like he did, he did. So it's the first rehearsals of the pageant. Jasmine is feeling a little nervous. The women there seem a little bit more prepared, a little bit more knowledgeable about the pageant circuit. And when the rehearsal is complete, the people that are running it, they're giving out tips and ideas of how you can improve your walk and all of these things. So Jasmine gets some tips. And I guess she takes it with a grain of salt. She's okay with it at the time, but she still feels like a little bit down about the fact that she wasn't perfect. But again, this is her first pageant. And so Gino kind of comes back behind after the pageant runners, give her advice. Then he kind of follows up and says, yeah, you need to work on these things to improve yourself. And he's took some video of the whole rehearsal and saying, I'm just gonna take this video so you can get some ideas and tips of how you can improve. So to me, I'm thinking, this is just probably common criticism that might happen, especially for a first-time person in a pageant. But Jasmine puts on the I Love Lucy whiny face again. She's now even accusing Gino of looking at the videos and getting turned on by the videos and using them for later use, stating that he shouldn't be taping other women. So she takes it in that direction. And, from what I recently heard, Gino does have some issues, but I'm not sure if that was his intention to tape it for that. He even played the tape back to show her some of the best girls that were doing their walk. But I guess she wasn't happy with him doing that and his excitement over these girls. And she starts to, in a way, get kind of upset, maybe a little bit jealous, and saying she doesn't really want him to criticize her. She just wants him basically to be the supportive husband on her side and telling her, you're doing a good job, baby, and he shouldn't really get too deep into it because, I guess she wants him just to be there as support. But previously she was like, it's cool, you can kind of be my manager if you want, you can kind of help me out. He picked one of her outfits out, so that was fine. But now that it's going to the critique stage, Jasmine really can't take it. On some level, I can understand where she's coming from because, yeah, you want your partner there to be supportive of you. You don't want the people that's running the pageant to critique you and then you go back to your room or whatever, go back to your boo and they're also critiquing you and all you're thinking about is how you didn't do well. But if you really want to work on something and win something, it's not like sports, but it's kind of like sports. You kind of have to eat, sleep, drink it, and just always be but always be thinking about your strategy of what you're going to do next. Yeah, we don't want to use the word worry, but yeah. Actually, I think Gino may be in the right in the situation, but I'd hate to see later on if he was looking at those videos. I can't say he wouldn't, but I think he's really trying to help her and give her example. He even taped her so she could see her flaws in her walk and everything. So I think that was actually a good strategy if you are going to be someone's manager in that type of field. to kind of look at what others do, especially if you don't have much experience. I mean, I think it was really a great idea, but I do understand not having criticism on all sides, being able to come home to your person and they're like, I'm proud of you, babe, anyway. I understand kind of where she's coming from, but I think she kind of took it a little bit too far. It was a little bit whiny. I feel like she was on the verge of crying, but I don't know. I think she was more ranty than crying at this time. But I hope she figures it out. I mean, you can't be that type of person that thinks, oh, when I start something right away, I'm just going to be perfect at it. No, it's going to take some time. You're going to have to learn. You're going to have to figure it out. I mean, it's just natural, just human nature to not know everything and just be humble enough to say, I'm not perfect at this. But I hope she gets better. I hope she improves. I hope she gets a little bit more humility and really just opens her mind to getting these tips and this advice without taking it in a negative way. All right, let's go to Angela, Michael, and the hotel phone battle. So last we were with Angela and Michael. It appears that Michael could be scamming Angela. He has a whole group dedicated to men learning how to get their K-1 visas and marry women from the U.S. So Angela was really threatened by that, and she feels like Michael may have been setting her up this whole time to be someone that he's using to get to the U.S. And he's a part of a whole group of guys that's doing this. So she's trying to hold on to his phone. He's trying to get his phone back because that's where she sees all this proof. And the showrunners sound like they call for hotel security. The people behind the camera, like they don't know what to do. They're fighting over this phone. And security comes and he finally leaves. He tries to get his phone back from her, but he finally leaves and she still has the phone. She's upset because he leaves and doesn't come back for some time. And she says it's not really like him, so that makes her even more suspicious. Well, finally he comes back to her room, tries to talk to her about it and talk her through the scenario. And it sounds like she's kind of taking his bait and believing him, and he's saying, no, this group is really about me to learn how to get to your country so we could be together. This isn't a scam or anything. So she's asking, it sounds like, the right questions. I don't know if his answers are good enough for me. If it was me, I would not so easily accept. A lot of people don't love Angela. She's a little bit loud. She's a little bit too much. And some people think that she's just mean to Michael. And at some level, I think that's true. But in this case, I really think this is worth investigating to see if he really is up to what he could be up to. So they're now in the hotel room together. He's holding her, comforting her. He has this look on his face. It's kind of a grin, but it's kind of a weird look. I don't know. It feels like I'm pulling one over on her look on his face, but she can't see it because she's being comforted and laying on his chest. So I don't know. I mean, I'm really excited to see what really is going on with that situation. Okay, Kobe and Emily's Cameroon wedding was the best part of this episode. I loved the wedding. They said Kobe kind of schooled us a little bit on Cameroonian weddings and basically said they are better than American weddings. There's no vows. It's just a time for the families to get together and accept this new person into the family. They are seated in the central area. I guess people will get to, welcome them and greet them. But the husband comes in first, which is more like the traditional American weddings. He greets everyone. Everyone's excited to see him. It almost feels like a DJ party or something. The DJ announces you as soon as you come in. It seems like the wedding is more like the reception than the wedding part. So it's like the DJ announces the groom as he comes in, and everybody's hyped up. They're dancing as the person comes in. They have their traditional Cameroonian clothing on. And Emily, although she's a white woman from America, she says she wants to be as traditional as possible. So she has some stylists come in from Cameroon to help get her ready for the wedding. So yeah, it's really hype and exciting, and he sees all his family that he hasn't seen in such a long time. They have food, they have music, and it's just like a giant party. And it was a really great part when Emily is ready. Kobe's sisters come pick her up to take her to the venue, and they're screaming and shouting and excited. And as soon as she comes out of the door, they're excited, they're jumping, they're dancing, they're hugging her. It just seems like they're giving her so much love. And that continues when they get to the venue, when they announce her as the bride. She comes in and they're all dancing, and all her and all the girls are dancing together, and it's just like you have your own girl group for a moment. You have your own like entourage. Like, it was just so hype and fun and beautiful just to see everybody so happy and excited and celebrating them separately as people, and also celebrating them as a couple and celebrating their love. I like the part when Emily's father, they give him a moment to speak, and he brings Jesus in there and he prays for them and says, in Jesus' name, bless them to have lots of kids in the big house. And he kind of makes a joke and says the big house first. Hopefully they get the house first. And if for those of you who don't know the backstory, they've been living with Emily's parents for quite some time, and I think they're just now kind of getting their own place. They have 2 kids, but I appreciate Emily's parents. They're super supportive. They went all the way to Cameroon. They wear the traditional clothing. They seem to respect the culture. They were excited about the whole event. They kind of saw it as like a great cultural experience, but they're really going to start seeing it as their family because, Kobe is now, it's been a part of their family, but they're kind of getting his cultural experience, and they're going to get it forever as long as he and their daughter are together. So it was wonderful to see it. It was so exciting and so beautiful to see love and marriage just so hyped up and so celebrated. And it's just something that you kind of see it in American weddings, but it was more love there. Everyone was smiling, even though they may not have understood. I think they speak French there, each other's language. Everyone was smiling. You could feel the love and the acceptance. Then comes in Valerie, his one friend. He had a few friends that weren't accepting of Emily because of her traditional way that American women are. And he was saying something about he questioned that would they be a good couple for each other. So he's speaking right now, not really sure what he's gonna say, but he said, first we began to question her when she came because her customs aren't like those of Africa, and she may not treat him well. And I don't think he finished his speech, because I think we have to see next time. Now, if I'm wrong, guys, email me. Did I miss it? Did I miss the end? Because it looks like happily ever after, but we don't know what Valerie's going to end up concluding in his speech. That part I don't think happened. So email me at cbiztv@yahoo.com if I'm wrong, if I missed it. Okay, that was great. And even the first time when they first came to Cameroon, all the love they received, it's just a beautiful thing. That country just seems amazing when it comes to love and showing love, unconditional love at that. Let's go to the next couple here. We're going to Manuel and Ashley. The money issues. Manuel keeps asking for money for his family, but he's not being specific. And Ashley's kind of getting stressed out about his attitude, the way he treats her, and how he just asks for money. And she calls up one of his friends, and the friend kind of insinuates he's been sending money to the baby's mama, which she knew he had a baby mama, has a couple of kids with someone else, but she felt that he left the impression that he doesn't really talk directly to her. I don't know if she figured that they did everything through a family member or something like that, but she's now upset because she knows that they have some form of relationship. Didn't say it was anything inappropriate. It could be just the fact that he's sending money to her, but the secrecy and the demanding for money is a big issue. So she's upset with that, and she's upset with the fact that then as they're fighting about the money, he's saying, well, then I'll just go back. If you can't help me, I'll just go back and take care of my family. And she's really upset about that ultimatum. And she does say, if you want to, then just go back. She didn't say that in his face, but she told that to us as the viewers. But that's what I say too, man. Like, really, he seems very entitled. He seems almost, to me, kind of chauvinistic. He has this male machismo attitude, but he's not bringing anything financially into the home, which I understand the situation. But if you're going to be like that, then try to find something else. He said, I'll find a way. I'll do something else. I'll just go back home. Well, you could try to find a way and do something in America if you're really that resourceful of a man. Why don't you see if you can help Ashley get another job or get a second job where she can do like a side gig and you can help, and she could get some of that money, and then that money can go to you and your family. Like, there's different things you can try to do besides just go leave her and go back to your family. So she wasn't happy with that. Also, he changed his account password, which she was surprised about that. He said, well, you go in there and spend the money. Well, that's weird, because isn't she giving you the money? Why is she going in there and spending her own money through his account? And she's saying, I don't do that. I'm not irresponsible with money like that. He's being well taken care of. So she doesn't. She's like, what is the problem with you? And then you're demanding more. So it doesn't look good. This money issue is really bad. There's a lot of things that can break relationships and marriages up. This just, to me, looks pretty bad on that front. And his attitude is what's the worst part. It's not just the money, but the way he's treating her and handling her in the situation as if he is entitled to this. In reality, traditionally, the man is supposed to be taking care of the woman. And I still believe in that tradition. Some people may disagree. I know this is probably supposed to be a temporary situation until he gets all of his paperwork together. Yet and still, this shows you what type of man he is and what type of person that she's dealing with. Doesn't look good to me. I gotta go next up to John, Thais, and Patrick. Thais goes and connects with her friends. They go out for the night drinking, and Natalia, one of her friends, gives John and Patrick a hard time, saying John's a bad influence. He may be trying to cause his own brother to cheat on his wife, Thais, and all the things that he's done in the past. So John just has enough of it and calls her a slut. And I think Portuguese, she's so upset, she sprays her drink on him, throws it at him, ice and all, and leaves the table. Thais goes and follows her friend. It's like, trying to get her to come back and not be upset, kind of talk her down. Then she goes back to the guys, because both her friends have left now. It's like, why did you do that? Why did you call her a slut? Well, he's there like, well, she ganged up on us first, saying all these things and trying to make me look like the bad guy, trying to make John, his brother, look like a bad guy, like he's going to entice him and set him up to cheat. And he's like, I never did that type of thing. I would never do that. And Patrick's taking up for his brother at this time. But two wrongs don't make a right. I mean, come on, you guys. A man, if a woman is constantly questioning you, you can't handle it, it would have been better for him to just walk out of the bar. Even go walk over to the bar, go to another table, go to another area. He didn't really have to fight fire with fire and call her a name. She was, to me, again, instigating too much and pouring it on too strong. But a man is supposed to be able to be above that type of thing. That's my thoughts. A real man doesn't have to stoop down or go to the same level or go even lower. A real man, if he has to, will just have to walk away, because sometimes you don't have the words. Sometimes a woman or a man or another person can be talking you down so much, and you may not have the vocabulary to fight back for yourself, or you may not know what to say, because some people can just use words and they can back you off by words alone, and they'll shut you up by their rebuttal. But we don't always all have those words. So just walking away would have been a lot better than him. And I think he was also getting drunk at the time as well. So I'm just saying, walking away would have been a lot better than him calling her what he called her. I say two wrongs don't make a right. I won't say he was better. I won't say she was better. Okay, sure, she started it, but you guys aren't high school kids. You guys aren't elementary school kids on the playground pushing each other, and she did the first push. So yeah, two wrongs don't make a right. It's really time to grow up. John is older than his brother Patrick. There's like really no excuse. Just walk away. I'm sorry, that's how I feel. Let's go to the next couple. Rob, Sophie, and the mom's Claire. Sophie once again is going back to her friend's house. She just doesn't feel connected with Rob. She feels like he's always mean. He's not thoughtful of her, and he's not thoughtful of his words. At this time, Rob is the coolest he's ever been. He's trying very hard. He's tired of Sophie going to stay at her friend's. Her mom Claire is there this time, and he feels like she's instigating this whole incident. But she has been going back and forth, but he really feels like she's in the middle of it this time. And she has said, if you're not happy, you should just leave this situation. She kind of did that one-on-one with her daughter, and I don't think she's wrong. But the other day, Sophie's like, you made my mom cry and all of this. And she did cry and was upset, but Rob was like actually the coolest he's ever been in the scenarios they've had in the past. But still, he was wrong for the part that he played. Again, the men kind of have to step up to me. I know it may be a hard or a big pill to swallow, but we have emotional women, we have upset women, and they may be upset for whatever reason. They may have good reasons, they may not. But in this scenario, he really can't just walk away. He's kind of trying to fight for his marriage. I feel like he's doing the best that he can in this scenario. Can't always say he was the best in the past. I feel like he's really trying to grow up because he wants his marriage to work, and he doesn't want his wife to leave. And having moms there, kind of ushering her out the door, is kind of making him feel, I think, the threat that he has to stand up and do something because he doesn't want his wife to go. And she's like, well, he's giving her advice on, what she needs to do, and she should stop leaving and all this. And she's like, well, why don't you ask me what I need in order to stay? Why don't you do that? And I don't remember if he did actually ask her that. They came to some sort of end to the conversation, but she just really was like, so what are you gonna say to me to make me stay? And I just remember him saying, I love you. And she's like, well, you have to kind of change the way you treat me. He gave her this little plushie doll, two plushies. One, if you turn it inside out, it has a happy face, and the other way is a sad face. And she just used the little doll as an example. She's like, well, if you keep treating me like this, I'm gonna be, sad face. And she used the doll, but if you change your ways, then I'll be this other face. And she changed to the doll. And it just shows me how she's still like a kid to me because she's using these dolls as examples of smiley face, sad face. It was kind of funny and kind of cute at the same time. But dude, don't you see what you're dealing with? She's young. Like, you really have to grow up. He's in his early 30s. She's going into her mid-20s. She's 24 at the time. I mean, 23 when they first got started. I feel like she's should be a little bit more mature, but I think she's kind of mature considering between her husband and her mom, she's the most calm. She's the least yelling of the situation and just breaking down and screaming, and she's trying to hold everything together. So, but I thought it was really funny how she used the doll, the plushie doll, as an example, and just showing me that she's still young. She has some maturing to do, and it was cute. Some weird fight about granola bars. She ate all the granola bars. This is something that happened in the past, and he needs the granola bars before he goes to work because he can't get anything else. And she ate the whole thing of granola bars, and she's like, I should be able to eat all the granola bars if I want to eat all the granola bars. So the granola bars became like a big deal for a moment in the conversation. But we'll see what's gonna happen. He said I love you. She said I love you too. Kind of gave him a side hug. She said, don't make my mom cry anymore. I'm not gonna be able to stay, or something she said when she walked away. Wow, I don't know what's gonna happen with them. To me, it's not looking really good. I just feel like Rob has a point about her staying. They have a battle with words, but as far as I see, there's no physical hands he put on her or anything like that. I mean, it's just, you guys have to figure out how to make up with each other. It's not like a detrimental situation where she must leave. It's just that she doesn't like the environment and she goes to stay with her friend. She really does need to stay and try to work things out with him and not even have the mom involved, because sometimes there's too many hands in the pot, too many people involved. Maybe if they did dial it down just between them, but when they try to do therapy and he, criticized her little sexy outfit that he requested her to wear, some more sexy things, for their alone time, and he's criticized her on that, that kind of messed them up at that point. Again, something you guys could talk out and get over, I would think. I don't know what to say. I hope that they could figure this out. And with Alexi and Lauren, Lauren got this major mommy surgery that's now has her in a place where, hey, she can't really do a lot. I think she's starting to heal up. But the main issue is that Alexi's dad has to go back to Israel. He's been there for a month, and it's the Israel-Hamas conflict. Everybody loves the granddad. I think they were calling him Saba. I'm not sure if that's his name or if that's the word that they use in his culture for grandfather, but the kids really missed him as he was leaving. It's like, he's leaving, we want to go on the airplane with him. They missed him before he left, and it was just kind of sweet. And even Alexi was kind of almost going to tears, and even Lauren, as he has to go back to Israel, and they're hoping the best for him, that everything is safe there. I think Alexi's mom is already there, and I wish the best for them too. And I hope that we can get to hear, that everything's okay with them and how things went with him returning to Israel. But that was the main story for them. So that's it, guys. That's it for the recap chat. I believe that I covered everything and everyone. And if I missed anyone, you guys always let me know at cbiztv@yahoo.com. That's cbiztv@yahoo.com. Let's get at it again next time as we talk faith, love, and trends. All the best. God bless.